Hi, welcome back to SmartBug on Tap. My name's Hannah Shain, and I am the host of this podcast. I'm here to offer you quick and useful marketing ideas you can put into action right away. Each episode is only about 10 minutes long. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the Great Resignation and what we as marketers can do to help. Let's dive in. A connection of mine on LinkedIn posted a thread about the Great Resignation about a month ago, and it really got me thinking. Let me read to you his perspective. He said, I think we should stop referring to this period in time as the Great Resignation. I think it misses the heart of what's really happening. I believe we are living through a transition in America from work comes first to life comes first. And I believe that companies who truly understand this will win in this decade. So he was asking, does your experience of working from a company genuinely enrich the lives of your employees? If it does not, you might be shouting the Great Resignation right about now. So I thought that was kind of an interesting perspective because I really love the idea of exploring, does your company genuinely enrich the lives of your employees? It got me thinking, more about the value prop of what your company might stand for. And you can ask questions like, what does our company stand for? And then I was thinking, how can we apply this to recruitment? So admittedly, our company's in the same boat as just about every other company out there. Recruiting is our top priority. We've been throttled down on our demand gen engine and put more of a focus on recruitment. This is a career first for me. It was an exciting one at that, but I was still at the same time a little nervous as I kind of talked through with my boss, what is it that we're trying to achieve and how can I apply some of my background in digital marketing, campaign management, and demand gen towards recruitment. Talked through all these ideas and we agreed that the best practice that we could do around inbound marketing could be applied in the same ways as recruitment. So that's what I want to offer you during this podcast. So first and foremost, I think you need to think through your messaging. Do you have the right messaging on your careers page, on your culture page to attract the talent that you're looking for? What does your company stand for? And how can you apply that to the content that you're going to be producing during this kind of time period for recruitment? Does it set, as you're going through some of that messaging, does it set you up with a new messaging matrix that you can apply and use within those campaigns? So think things like core values. Are you going to revisit your core values? Are they prominent enough on your website? Are those uniquely different from some of your other companies that might be recruiting some of the same talent? You can ask questions like, why are people applying to your company? But better yet, why are the people that are staying at your company actually staying? And conduct some of those listening interviews to maybe kind of gain some learnings and feedback from that kind of information that you're collecting and leverage it in the messaging and the content that you're going to get. Next step for really getting up and running with recruitment marketing would be to start to develop some campaigns. Get really creative. We had campaign ideas out the wazoo and nothing was really off the table. I wanted my team to come together and come up with all the creative ways to really break through the noise and get noticed. We talked through events like running our own job fair, which we actually just did. It just happened last week. So you can kind of take a peek there and check it out on demand. But we did that virtually, it's still kind of in the midst of the pandemic. And because we recruit across the nation, that really kind of set us up for it's best to really host it as a remote event. But then from there, I really had to get creative about like, who are we targeting? And our CRM is not necessarily set up in a way to tag and know who in our database we should actually be pushing a message of like, hey, do you want a job here? I had to protect our pipeline and demand gen and all of the leads that we've generated for clients and prospects and make sure that we weren't over inundating them with a kind of a new offer of, hey, come work for us instead of let us work for you. So we had to get very creative and we ended up creating Brain Trust, which is an idea or a concept that came from Creative Inc., a book that we recently read during our book clubs. And I like this idea of pulling together some other kind of smart people across the company to really think about how can we slice and dice our database and find the right people to be targeting, but then also marrying that up with what are the most important roles that we're trying to hire for. Right now, we have over 25, probably close to 30 roles that are open right now, and they're on all sorts of different teams. And so I couldn't just do this spray and pray. I wanted to get very narrow and specific about what were the top priority roles that we wanted to recruit for. And then how could I match that with the right people in our database to target them, to bring them to a virtual event, to enroll them in nurture emails, We also started talking about doing newsletters that are dedicated to this, and the newsletters capture kind of all the content. So upcoming events, blogs, open career ideas, just even like meet more of our team members, follow us on social. There's kind of a lot of CTAs within that newsletter, all about kind of building up the culture behind our company. Then we started to spin up a paid media function, and that's something that we're going to carry forward even after we say, all right, we're caught up on recruitment marketing. I think this is always on branding that we want to run. And so there's kind of a number of different channels. I think it's really smart to be doing retargeting for anyone that looks qualified that's visited your recruitment page or your careers page. And then outside of that, we got kind of creative about the style and types of ads that we're running. And we started to create I called it an advertorial. But it's, imagine like an infographic that has a lot more content, looks almost like a piece of content you'd want to download. But it's all about the type of role that we have at our company. And this is kind of a fun type of asset for us because maybe it's somebody that's trying to level up in their career and they want to download that asset to learn how to become a paid media director or an inbound strategist, or two of the roles we're recruiting for right now. And those might be the next level up in their career. And so they're downloading this content to kind of educate them on, how do I get there? What do I need in my skills or requirements? What qualifications do I need? And so we kind of packaged all that up in a really nicely designed asset that feels like content you're downloading, but it turns into recruitment leads. So I'm going to pause there and kind of think about like what happens when these leads come into our CRM. Like we're running all sorts of recruitment campaigns, from people registering for our job fairs to downloading content now. And so kind of next phase that I think is really smart that if we have time, we'll carve out and do, is start to create a lead pipeline for our recruitment team. So the lead scoring model that we have effectively thinks that these leads look like crap because they are, personal email addresses, maybe no information like job title, current company. It doesn't know how to read or scrape data from their LinkedIn or resume to tell us or tell our CRM, like, hey, these look like really great leads. So right now our lead scoring is putting them down at the bottom of the bucket, but I know how to segment them and still offer them to our recruitment team. So kind of just food for thought on, well, if we're going to keep this going for months and quarters to come, it feels really smart to have a separate lead scoring model that's really looking at, are these really good fit leads? Maybe they haven't applied yet, but we're going to bubble them up and put them as top priority for our talent team so that they know which marketing generated recruitment leads should they be chasing after. It's probably a good indication, as we see all the time that upcoming candidates are engaging with content on our website, attending our events. That's happened for years. Even outside of this company, I've seen that happen. And so now it's really the first time in my career that I started to think about, hey, I think that we might need to create a completely separate lead pipeline just for recruiters. Maybe it's not so game changing, but in a business where we operate, and kind of my top initiative is really around demand gen for our sales team, servicing our recruiting team feels a little foreign and new to me, but exciting all the same. The last kind of creative campaign idea that we've really rolled out and implemented is making sure that we're very open and transparent on our blog and on our social about the culture that we're creating here. Kind of from things about showing off, what does remote work life really look like? What's a day in the life of a role that they might be interested in looking at? Can I find my tribe there? Are there working parents? Are there single parents? Is there coffee lovers and pet lovers? Are there travel nomads? We have all sorts of different types of people, or tribes is what I've been calling these groups. And I want to spotlight them on social and on our blog, just to kind of make it feel like this very, just to show off more of who's at our company and making sure that everyone knows a little bit more about our culture beyond what they might be able to read on our careers page on our website. I think kind of outside of that, there's all sorts of stuff that you can really keep turned on and keep running in terms of recruitment marketing. And there's really no bad idea here, but clearly I'm excited about all these things that I can apply. And I would love to learn more about what you're doing to help your kind of recruiting team. If you're kind of still doing your normal day job and marketing campaigns, but then adding on top of that recruitment marketing, it's an exciting time to be in. And I would love to hear about how you prioritize and how you're going to keep that engine running as you start to pick up again in the coming new year with your demand gen. So that's all I got to offer today. I'd love to hear any sort of future ideas or new concepts that you'd like to talk about. You can reach us at marketing@smartbugmedia.com, or tweet us or just find us on social at SmartBugMedia. Thanks.